Yo, what's going on, everybody? Devon Marcel Whitaker here, aka Dev Del Molino, aka the synthesizer of opinions. And I'm back in the building today doing a 543 review on this new album called Lost Kingz, and it's by a dude named the God Fahim. I don't want to waste too much time. Let's get into 5 things that you need to know about the God Fahim and his latest project. So if you're familiar with the Your Old Droogs and the Mock Homies and the DJ Muggses of the world, then I would be a little surprised if you hadn't heard of the God Fahim. And if you haven't heard of any of those dudes, then that's okay, and that makes sense. While these guys are reaching a lot of fans and they're making some pretty incredible music, they are certainly not trying to reach the masses in a sense. I wouldn't let it discourage you from trying to listen to their music and trying to get into the scene a little bit, because the God Fahim is really just one of the interesting and very consistent rap acts coming out of this underground renaissance, basically, happening over on the eastern side of the country right now. I have been on record on the podcast and on Instagram time and time again being completely enthralled with some of the dirty, grimy, dusty, ugly, nasty, beautiful, insane, and completely innovative music that's been coming from the depths of the underground on that side of the country. This man makes a lot of music. The God Fahim doesn't stop making and putting out music. It just doesn't happen. Just from what you can see on Spotify alone, there are 10 projects there from 2018. There are 6 more projects in 2019, and by the end of January, he's already released 2 more, including this one, The Lost Kingz. Some may look at that and say, yo, fam, you need to slow the hell down. But that's not really how the game is being played right now. I think both on the underground circuit and in some other subgenres of hip hop, it does behoove artists to drop and drop again and continue to release and just feed their fan base. If you have a fan base and they're going to listen to all this music and it doesn't completely kill your creativity to put out this much music and you're made for that, that's exactly what I think you should be doing at this time and day, where you don't have to have a label to upload music whenever you want. It's the same exact reason why I fell in love with Griselda, Westside Gunn, Benny, and Conway. It wasn't just the fact that the music was amazing, it was that there was so much amazing music. It was kind of mind-boggling to think they could put out so many projects so fast and not fall off a cliff in the process. But that is it. So let's get into my 4 favorite tracks. The 4th of 4 is going to be a song called Life After. Okay, so right off the bat here is a great example of the kind of beats you're going to hear on a God Fahim project. I said this earlier, but a little grimy, a little dusty, a little off the beaten path, but still gorgeous and beautiful when you add in the vocal sample that accompanies the infrastructure of the song. And Fahim comes to this song, matches the instrumental well, and delivers on the ideas and the atmosphere and the sound that the instrumental was already going for. So that definitely had to make the list. Going up to number 3 on my list is Stay Fly. And this is definitely another one of those albums where numbers 3, 2, and 1 on my favorite songs list are realistically not that far apart. Stay Fly is another super flavorful, fantastic marriage of a beat and the sample to go along with it. And the God Fahim is writing some really catchy and tuneful rap refrains. Tell baby don't cry till the day I die, I'ma stay fly. And then again the sample, la 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 la. The whole thing super duper fucking catchy. And again, for an underground rap track, this thing just has a lot of flavor, a lot of tune to it that sticks in your mind, is easy to repeat and just kind of enjoy throughout your day, whether you listen to the song at the moment or not. So I definitely recommend Stay Fly. Number 2 on this list, my second favorite song, is a song on here called Renown. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but fantastic sample. This time it's kind of a piano loop. And again, Fahim is really showing off on this project his ability to write refrains that I find myself having stuck in my head after the fact quite a bit. The little piano loop addition here is spicy. It's really cool. It gives this thing a really catchy tune to the sound of it, with some good rapping on top of all of that, to make a track that, really stands out. Again, why it's my second favorite on the album. My favorite song on this album, number 1 out of the 4, is going to be Blade Fordge featuring Mock Homie. We have 2 back-to-back Mock Homie features here in this song and another one called Playground Legends. And these songs, in a way kind of lean into each other, so we can talk about them both. So, this chunk of the album, I would say, has to be my favorite part. why exactly. Blade Forge, at least, I've played this song a ton over the past week. And mind you, I told you how catchy some of the other tracks were, and I still found myself just coming back to this over and over again for the rapping. And with this instrumental and with the two rappers you have on it, you really don't need too much in the way of a hook or a big idea that you want to get across when you have these two rappers and a beat like this. I mean, Mach-Hommy just absolutely slaughters this thing, in my opinion. They go together very, very well, and this has to be one of the best Mach-Hommy and God Fahim collabs out there, period. This track is shorter, it's a little bit more mellowed out, and just again allows the space for Mach and Fahim to really just get busy on this thing. And then we get into Playground Legend, that has like this funky little horn sample, and it's a little bit more energetic and rambunctious. Each of them sort of adjust their flows accordingly to match the energy that comes with it. It's a great 1-2 punch. I mean, both in Mach-Hommy and Fahim working together, as well as these two songs coming in right towards the middle of the project, so as I can appreciate it but not necessarily be distracted from, this is the God Fahim's project. So Blade Forge and the transition into Playground Legend has to be my favorite moment on this God Fahim project, Lost Kingz. So with that said, let's get into 3 adjectives I have about this project. And the first adjective is swift, because this thing is pretty straight to the point, no frills. I mean, we're getting right to the meat and potatoes of what we want to hear from the God Fahim. And to double back on that notion, the second adjective is homogenous. I think the God Fahim as an artist is getting pretty good at replicating the details of what it is makes him interesting as a rapper and makes some of these songs interesting. But when you look at it from a song to song perspective, they run the same kind of pace. And if you're going to be a musician that produces that much music on such a constant basis, you have to have that trademark quality that doesn't get old. And I would say that the God Fahim, at least in this project and other ones that I've heard in recent times, have that. And the last adjective I have to use to describe this album is going to be independent. And independent has sort of a twofold meaning here, because on face value, I mean, we're listening to some pretty underground stuff, some independently released stuff. But it's also independent in the sense that there's something about a God Fahim project that is interesting enough on its own. Him and Mach-Hommy work together so much, and I think Mach-Hommy is so kind of out there in a way and is grossing a larger fan base that the God Fahim at times kind of appears to be like this sidekick to that entity. I mean, yes, I will always take my God Fahim with some Mach-Hommy. I personally am a bigger fan of Hommy than I am of Fahim. But the fact that they've made so much music together goes to show you that there's something about Fahim that also improves Mach-Hommy. So it kind of goes both directions in that, they just improve each other's sound, and they make a very natural fit together. So I say all that to give a lot of props to Fahim and the work that he's been putting out, both on this project and any of the other projects he's released in the past couple of years. The dude is a workhorse. He's putting out some consistent and really great sounding music. I don't think he's getting as much recognition as a Hommy or a Yorl Droog or a Griselda. But I think with time, more and more people are going to hear this name and enjoy this product. So I'm hoping that you are watching and getting on that wave a little bit sooner than everybody else might. So that's going to be it for my take on this album, Lost Kingz by the God Fahim. Shout out to the God Fahim. That's it for me. If you haven't heard this project and you're just going to take the flyer on it and take my suggestion, let me know what you think. Throw that down in the comment section. Anything you got to say, hot or not, adjectives or favorite songs or whatever. But remember, art without favor is like a windmill without wind. Dev Del Molino, I'm out.